Welcome back to In Between Sets podcast. I'm your host, Abigail, and this is...
I'm Kaitlin.
Episode 4. Nothing we can't do anything serious. Can't take us anywhere. Yeah, so this is episode 4. We're super excited.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Because
we're doing it.
And there's some stuff we're going to talk about today that I'm very excited about.
So I actually did the intro today because this episode is going to be all about Kaitlin. Today is her 34th birthday. Let's go. And so we're kind of just going to do a check-in, a little bit of reflection, kind of talk life, business, fitness, what you're looking forward to, things like that. So it should be pretty fun.
I'm excited, but also like nervous. I read over this stuff and I was like, these are really detailed introspective questions.
Okay, so I will say I started us off. I was like, okay, 34, we'll do 34 questions about Kaitlin. And then I started writing them and I sent them to her and she laughed and I was like, what is she laughing at? I thought these were like really good questions. And I look back, I'm like, there ain't no way we getting through 34 questions.
That's going to be 2 hours of a podcast.
That would require us to literally answer and move on.
When have I ever taken less than a minute to answer anything?
Nothing.
So you sent that over and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, how much time do we have?
So we have 34 questions to pick from.
Yes.
But we will not be going over all 34.
Yeah. But before, okay, I don't want to cry. Before we get started, Abigail has some really exciting news to share.
Easter egg.
An Easter egg. Can you show the audience your necklace and what it says? It's M-A-M-A.
Mama? Weird.
So Abigail's pregnant.
Yeah, it's crazy. And y'all are the first to know, technically. So
yeah, because you haven't put it anywhere on social media yet.
Anywhere. It's so weird. It hasn't really hit me yet, but I think by the time...
It's hit me. I went to a garage sale.
Kaitlin already loaded us up on stuff.
I was walking through a garage sale. This was last week, and I was like, oh, cool. I'm just walking Emma to my neighborhood, and there's like 6 or 7 different baby things, and I was like, took a picture. I was like, hey, what do you need? What do you need? And she was like, I don't know what
any of that stuff is.
I was like, how much for it
yes,
all?
I need it.
So I loaded up in my truck. I was like, hey, we're ready. We're ready for something.
We got everything we need. I have no idea how to use them yet, but we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
how do you feel?
Very excited. Yeah. It's a little overwhelming, but it hasn't like fully hit me. And I think I'm like, maybe it's not unique, but like I don't have crazy symptoms.
What have your symptoms been so far?
I get nauseous in the evening.
How far along are you? Tell
Oh yeah, so when this podcast drops, I'll be right about 12 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When did you tell me? How long have I been knowing?
I told you at 5.
5?
I had to have. It had to be right around 5 because I found out at 5 and I told you like 3 days later, 2 days later.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's been a while.
Yeah. Okay.
And like for a bunch of yappers to not tell anybody, I'm like sitting in my seat like, okay, when can I tell somebody?
You literally lasted way longer than I would have expected.
Right?
Yeah.
My mom was like, I need you to tell people so that I don't get in trouble for accidentally telling people.
Yeah.
So here you go, Mom. Here's now your permission.
Okay. Sorry, your symptoms.
Oh yeah. So I get a little nauseous in the evening. I get randomly bloated. Like I sent you that picture, I think, where you're like, why does it look like I have a whole bump right now?
Right.
I can't breathe out of my nose. So random.
What?
Yeah, apparently it has to do with like blood flow. I'm learning lots of new things.
Like holding your nose?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
I mean, it's like this big, so it's probably
a
little blueberry-sized babies in my nose. But that's kind of it. And so I'm like, I don't know, every once in a while I'm like, are you still in there? Like, hello, are you growing? So I think I'll feel a lot better once the appointment actually happens. And by the time this drops, I'll have had my appointment. So
true. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
I'm so excited. This girl, she shows up to my house like as I'm like moving and she just comes, she's like, oh, I want to celebrate you like going on prep or something. Like,
oh yeah, I said,
you know
let's
what I mean?
have crumble before you start prep.
Yeah, and because like I
we
just
didn't
decided,
see each other in a bit.
and I just decided on a show
Yep.
like September, and we were like, you're like, oh cool, let's get crumble. And I was like, I don't really need it, I'm good, you know, whatever. You're like, no, we're getting it. And I was like, okay, like cool.
Okay,
you know,
sure.
She comes over to the house, like I had just got back from Shayna, seeing like my getting a facial, my eyebrows done or whatever. And you walk in, and I like had left the door open, and you bring coming, and I'm just like yapping, and I was like, so you wouldn't believe this. Anyway, da 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 da, and like then you just go like set it in front of me, and you're sitting across, and I could just tell like the phone like
it was like set up because like I'm not the recorder in the friend group.
No,
like it's always
it's
if we're
me.
taking photos or recording, it's Kaitlin. So I was like, how do I hide the phone, hide the camera? I couldn't really, so I was trying to be like super nonchalant, but like. I
just like, well, I kind of like looked at you and I could tell, but it was as I was lifting the crumble box open, right? Like, and I just looked down and I looked at you and looked down and I was like, because there's a pregnancy test, a little onesie, which you'd gotten very quickly. Like you just found out, then ordered the onesie.
Yeah. It said Auntie Kate's bestie.
Yeah. And I just like started bawling. And I was like not expecting to cry to that, obviously, but like, yeah, I just started crying and I was like, wait, no way. Like usually, like, I get a
It was
sense,
so unexpected.
Yeah.
I think that's, like, I mean, we all know how it happens, but, like,
right.
I was not
the
expecting.
stork,
yeah.
right, came. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dropped it off on the porch.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it was like, it was just the last thing you probably were thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was definitely the last thing I was thinking.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anyway.
It was so weird. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
High five, Kyle. Good job, man.
Yeah, he,
How's he feel? I really haven't asked too much on how he feels.
I think he's super excited.
Yeah, I knew that.
But I feel like boys don't like, it doesn't feel real until there's like actually a kid in front of them.
Right.
So like.
Because you're the one feeling everything.
Yeah,
like,
and changing. And he'll be like,
body.
what's wrong with you? Like yesterday he was cooking steak at the house. And I was like, you're literally not allowed to cook steak in this house anymore. Like, go outside and cook this right now. He's like, I don't get it. Like, are you not in a steak phase anymore? Because I used to like eat like 3 steaks a day. I was like, no, I'm just pregnant. Like, what are you talking about? So, yeah, it's been good. It's been exciting.
I can't believe you're almost done with the first trimester.
Thank
you
the
look
Lord.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, I was actually gonna say it's probably good that we announced it. I was like laughing. If I just said nothing and we're like talking about fitness stuff and I'm just getting fat as we're recording, they're like, we are not taking advice from this. Like,
this girl has no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is we were talking about it because like we knew we were gonna start the podcast. We hadn't started yet. Like when you told me, like we were going to start like 2 weeks later, 1 week later, or something, and we were laughing because you're gonna get bigger and I'm gonna get smaller.
I'm gonna be the fattest I've ever been in my life at her show, where she's like the leanest she's ever been.
Literally,
so.
and it's just gonna be like a totally different spectrum.
Check in on me, see how.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be emotional this way, and you're gonna be emotional.
Well, I think it's really cool too. Like this whole podcast, obviously, in between sets, in between seasons of life, and like your season right now is still so very different than mine.
So, yeah.
Like, and I just think it's going to be really cool for everyone to be along this journey with you. And you get to see me in prep and be miserable and sometimes have nothing to contribute to this podcast at all.
Yeah, check in on us and like
check in on both of us.
August, I'm like ready to pop and you're like about to compete and our podcasts are just us staring at each other.
Yeah, literally.
Like, oh my gosh.
Do you have anything to talk about?
Yeah. What do you have to say? Yeah, so it'd be kind of fun though to see kind of how fitness changes, how life changes and stuff like this as we go about that. So
man, life.
It's crazy, man. It goes by fast.
Well, you telling me.
So anyway,
34.
Enough about me. On to you. Okay, so like I said, I have like 30 something questions, kind of just reflecting. Caitlin's just a wealth of knowledge that we're gonna get to hear from today.
So wise.
Yeah.
So I'm just really learned from all the shit I did wrong.
Exactly.
That's all we're doing today.
Don't do what
I'm airing out all of my grievances. Anyway.
Okay, well, my first question, more of a fun one, just looking back over the last year, what do you think?
Ketchup on hot dogs. That's it. Oh, sorry.
I was like, wait, where are we going with this? Okay, so our very first deep question is, what are your favorite hot dog toppings?
Just ketchup. That's all you need. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, over the last year, what is something that you're not going to forget? Like year 33.
Oh.
Most memorable moment.
I mean, 33 was so defined by being on stage, by my first bodybuilding competition.
Yeah.
So 33 was really like, I think I learned, yes, like you can take another route in your fitness journey. Like I'm always the one like, oh, never say no. But there's some things I've said I will absolutely never do.
Which was that?
Bodybuilding was literally like a high on that list. Like, I would never do that. Like, that you're like showing your, you know, half naked self and asking people to judge you on your body. Like, and also, how do I honor God in that? Like, I had like some deep reflections on like why I felt I was being called to do that. And I'm so great.
And how do you blend the two?
Yeah, how do you blend the two? And like, I just carried the the heart posture of it, right? Like, still just made sure that I was a Christian in any sort of stage in life that you're in, and on social media and all the things. But the one thing I want to take away from 33 is like how much support I got from friends.
Yeah.
Like how much I was able to find love platonically. Like I had all these friends, like you guys have always been there for me no matter what, but like 33 I took a break-ish from dating. I dated one person, but like I took a very, very long break.
Yeah.
And I just focused so much on filling that cup from platonic love, and then also self-love. Like I hadn't really been able to give myself that. So
yeah, and I think like your show kind of like manifested that, because like we rolled in deep. We had so many people there to like watch you, and it was kind of cool because they were all like different groups of people, and everybody just showed up.
Yeah.
I've
never felt. I mean, I've felt love before. Don't get me wrong, but like it was. Friends were sending flowers from states like they couldn't be in here. You know, like people were just
Megan flew out. Like,
Megan flew out.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I was just
cool.
like, I was like, wow, okay, like man, people care.
Yeah.
Which I've known that, but you know, you don't need romantic love at all times to fill that cup, that need for love.
Yeah.
Like I just looked at all of my friends and was like, man, this is all I need. Like I got everything I need right here.
Yeah.
Like, which we can talk about more.
Yeah,
later
we'll get to that one.
Maybe not so fulfilling anymore, but that's okay. Anyway,
I get that. So 34, if you don't know, has been a tough year for Kaitlin to swallow.
Yeah.
I don't personally know why. It's just a freaking number, like so random, 34, but it has been. So kind of knowing that, if you were to go back to 24-year-old Kaitlin, what do you think you would tell 24 Kaitlin as you're like stepping into 34, a whole decade?
Honestly, I think, okay, you remember how I said that on the treadmill, God was like, if I showed you, you wouldn't believe me? I would literally look at her and be like, nah, really? Like, no, you really won't believe it. Like, I have so many great things going for me, and I'm really proud of how I never gave up.
Yeah.
Like, there might have been times when I took multiple steps back or doubted myself or anything like that, but I really never gave up.
Yeah.
And that I just want to look at her at 24 because I mean, I think she was just getting married or maybe a year into marriage and just really uncertain of everything, like the trajectory of her life and what she wanted to do. I think I was becoming a personal trainer then. And that was kind of the only thing that felt right at that time. So I would just tell her, like, yes, like keep listening to that because that's your career. Right. That's your passion. That's your purpose. Like everything will flow into
like
that.
It was super unknown at that time of like, should I do this? Or
right.
Like, I don't really know. And now it's like you're literally built a whole career off of it.
Don't give up. Keep doing what you're doing, boo. That's what I was telling her. Like, because things get really cool and get really interesting because you just took that chance.
You know, the other thing I was going to say, which is like, obviously we're way past that age, but sometimes I like look back at like college students. Like I was downtown earlier, see all the TCU kids.
Yeah.
And they're like younger than 24. Right. But I like feel like we're like the same age as them. And so like I'm laughing because I'm like, what would you tell yourself a decade ago? And that was like still older than those people. Like we are way past that age. So it's kind of
literally, there's some kids at my apartment. I say kids because there's kids in my apartment and I feel like they're in college. They're like, they look 19 and I'm just like, oh.
Like, oh wait, that wasn't yesterday.
That wasn't yesterday.
I had a whole life in between them. Okay, so what do you think the hardest, like, or I guess the one lesson that you had to learn the hard way this year was?
Oh, just this year?
Yeah.
My whole life? Oh, just this year. That
every lesson I've ever
narrows
learned
it down.
The hard
okay,
way,
great. That narrows it down. The hardest lesson, to be still and like give myself grace. I think there's a lot of times where and I should probably go to therapy for this.
That's what this is.
This is new for me.
Lay down.
I spent my entire like life in my growing up adolescent, like into college phase of just owning up to all these high expectations that were put on me.
Yeah.
Right. Like we've talked about that. I have wonderful, great parents. Like, and even my dad has mentioned a time or two here in the past couple of years of me, like, I might have really set the bar pretty high for you, you know, just, but like, I wouldn't be who I am without that.
Right.
So like, I'm glad, like, I'm super glad that like all of that happened to be a high achiever, but I don't know how to be successful and like celebrate my wins because it just seems like an expectation.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a success or a goal reached. It just goes, well, that was the expectation. And so anytime I was talking to Lauren about this because we kind of struggle with the same thing, but like I'm climbing this mountain, but I never stop to look at the view and appreciate where I'm at. Instead, I just keep making the mountain higher. Like I don't ever. So that's been like, and one lesson I'm still very much learning, but like, and why I feel so sometimes disappointed in myself or like I'm failing or like I start to freak out in that way is because like I don't know, so I'm working on it, how to like really celebrate any of my successes or like this podcast or Beefy Babes or like, and this goes back to, you know, I haven't really been able to celebrate something that is a usual monumental stone, like for women, right? Pregnancy, marriage, those kind of things are so expected. And like, that's the things we celebrate. We have baby showers for them. We have this great, like, I love that. I want that someday. Right. So like, I haven't been able to really do that, but I have great girlfriends because you guys, I threw my first Beefy Babes in-person event and you guys all took me to dinner with flowers and like, you know, it was, I felt it's to celebrate the things that are important to me. And that helps me to be able to be like, oh, this actually is big. Like, even though it wasn't a lot of girls that actually were signed up for Beefy Babes, right? It was more of just like our gym community of women here. But I was like, but this is what Beefy Babes Club is like to celebrate women, to recognize our strength, all of these things. But like, how am I celebrating that? Like, how am I celebrating that accomplishment? So that's the hardest lesson.
Do you feel like there was something that happened that kind of forced you to like slow down and celebrate, like whether it be like burnout or like something happened to where you were like, wow, okay, God, I get it. You're trying to teach me something. Was there like a moment?
Dude, it's always burnout. Anytime I burn out, anytime I like I have a full-on breakdown crying. Like I don't cry a lot, so when I do, it's like I've just reached the end. Like I've reached the end of what I can do on my own. And that's another, I guess that's another lesson too, is like I hired Ellie. I hired Victoria because I'm like, I can't run this business on my own, which is great. I want to employ my friends. I want to actually like fully employ my friends eventually. Like, but I just noticed that I couldn't do it on my own. And that's also where God was like tapping me on the shoulder, which is kind of like, hey, I know that you feel like all of the burden of this business and doing anything on your own is literally on you.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Right.
And because like I have a hard time taking vacations. I have a hard time removing myself from like my phone or anything like that because like if I'm not working, no one's working.
Yeah.
Like I'm not getting any clients and like nothing's working if I'm not working, if I'm not fully available and present to my business. And that has taught me that is
not sustainable.
That's not sustainable. We are not superwoman as much as we would like to think that we are. So
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of moving into more of like business career reflections over the last year. What do you think like the biggest risk that you took as an entrepreneur this year was?
Probably easily hiring Nick and Kelly, hiring executive coaches, because I got to the end of myself of just being like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
I remember that moment too,
I do know what I'm doing, but I also like, I have no direction. I need steps. I need actionable things. And so I hired executive coaches, right? Coaches who were going to coach me to be a better coach.
Explain, because like not everybody here is like super familiar with like, why is that a risk? So kind of explain like what the fear is and like, okay, well, why didn't you just hire them sooner? Like, obviously I understand, but.
Yeah, well, it's a risk because like one, I've had an executive coach before, right? I've had Paige and that was great. But with Nick and Kelly and that whole Impact Industries, like it was the first time I felt like I really truly was like, hey, and I kind of had to sit down with myself, like either this works in the next year or you're done.
Yeah.
Like, or you've got to go do something
Like
else.
go
Because
all
like
in or,
I was financially okay, but I wasn't near where I wanted to be, and I wasn't sustainable, right? Like, and nothing was sustainable. And so I found Nick through Megan, and he just sat there and was like, well, what do you want? And I was like, I want this to be successful. I want to help people for the rest of my life. And I'm so passionate about this, and I want to own my own business, but like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, so it was a big risk for me to just like have faith and trust in someone else as a business coach, and like it couldn't have been a better fit. Like I've learned so much, and not only that, like in the past year my business has gone from being very like up and down really harshly, like not just like, oh, like it's cyclical, seasonal, whatever, like you're gonna lose clients, you're gonna gain, like money's gonna come in, money's gonna come out, to energy, like, and that's the other thing, that's probably a very woo-woo thing of me to say, but like money's not real. So anyway,
it's all fake.
But I just it's so much more sustainable now than it was. Like I'm actually like more so trending upward rather than just taking these really big dips. And so it's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about accountability and how to be a leader. That was something that I just would look at you and I'd be like, Abigail's a leader. Like, absolutely, she's a leader. Then I would look at myself and be like, I'm just a coach. Like, I'm not a leader. And I'm like, no, I'm an authority figure. Like, I am an authority person, and
this you step into that.
Yeah, and I stepped into it, and now I just feel like there's so many great systems in place in my business now. There's so many, like, it was just kind of a godsend, but it was a huge risk at the time for me because, one, it was expensive, and two, I was like, okay, you ask your clients to take a risk on you when they pay you, and you give them the results that they can't get themselves. Right. This is literally the same thing. Yeah. Like, hire them.
Well, and I think it's funny. It might have been us talking, or maybe I was talking to Kyle about it, but it's like you see the price of like a fitness coach or a business coach or something, and there's like so much fear involved in it. Like, I feel like if it was free, nobody would be fearful of it, but there would also be like no accountability to it.
There's no accountability. Yeah.
But like, everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's so expensive to do this, like X and Y, Z amount of money, all this kind of stuff. But then it's like, how much did you spend on your college education?
Yeah.
And are you even doing anything with that? Like, you spent like $100,000 to go to college, and like, are you even working in that field? Like, it's crazy because that's so normal.
Yeah.
But then for somebody to look and be like, oh, you spend this much money on a month on a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that education is propelling my business, the actual business I'm doing forward.
Now what I pay
but like
them,
people think it's crazy.
Yeah, now what I pay them is a drop in the bucket. Yeah. Like, it's like I've probably 3x'd where I was last year on revenue. And that also goes back to what I'm learning. Like, I'm like, oh, it's not enough. I should be blah, blah, blah. Like, this is maybe a good moment for me to just bask and go, hey, actually, you've done really good. Yeah. You've been sustainable, and like, you're great. You're fine. It's good. Okay. It's also year 3.
Years. Yeah.
It's also year 3.
Yeah.
It's still a baby. Anyway.
Okay. What do you think? Obviously, that was the biggest risk, but what do you think your biggest area? You kind of touched on it, but kind of hit on it again as far as like your biggest area of growth as an entrepreneur specifically. So maybe not like necessarily like personally, but like specifically as an entrepreneur, where do you feel like you've grown the most?
I've grown the most in actually having a good system to my business, where in the first 2 years, because I didn't really know what to do, like when it came to actual business, right? Yeah. Like I knew what to do coaching wise. Like that was easy. Like I still turned my brain off. Like, you know, it's just so like second nature to me now. Like, but with the entrepreneur side of it and business side of it, like I'm still learning. And like the biggest place that I grew was, and it's still like, there's still some like rough edges to grow, because like I'm still learning how to coach Ellie. I'm still learning how to like lead leaders, lead people, right? Like my actual employees, you know, like I'm still learning that. But I was just kind of putting the systems in place. Like, what does an onboarding, you know, process look like? What does an exit process look like? What does, you know, obviously there's the middle part of like what they need as far as the prompts to fill out, touch points, like what's going to be help them feel successful, like all these other different things of the actual like system.
It's like all the things that people don't think about when you run a business. Like you see, oh, they're a coach, but you're like, you don't see the sales calls, the social media, the payroll, calls. The scheduling, like all the little teeny details that you don't like know about until you own a business.
It's wearing all the hats. Yeah. Like, and I feel like I've done a really good job of that. But again, with hiring Nick and Kelly, it was like, okay, like now I feel like I've got somewhere to get support so that I can make this a great business. Not that it's not already great, but like a really sound foundational business.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Systems, baby.
Systems. What is I love James Clear.
Yeah.
You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
Correct.
Is that what he says?
Yes.
I do pay attention when I read.
That's our second time of quoting Atomic Habits.
It'll be a daily thing. Okay, what is one myth you would want to debunk about entrepreneurship to people that are like, oh, I could do that?
Oh my god, I was supposed to call someone on Friday. Dang it! I was supposed to have a conversation with Eva on my call, like on the drive to Austin on Friday. I'm gonna text you. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Hold me accountable.
Yeah, it's not easy. Like, and I kind of, if someone were to come to me and like, oh, I could do that. I want to, like, a lot of people do come to me and be like, I want to do remote coaching. I want to be online. And I start telling them what my day looks like. And I start telling them everything that goes into it. And I literally have to tell them, like, you know, those like roller coasters where you have to put the thing on. Sorry, Josh. You have to put the thing on, strap your seatbelt in, and just like
buckle in, baby.
Yeah, that's how it feels. Because like, if you were to feel the lowest of lows that I've felt, like directionless, like clients leaving. I've had 3 clients leave this month. Mm-hmm. Like, if I were to emotionally attach myself to that, you're going to be like, wow, this isn't working. Oh my gosh, I'm just going to quit. Like, you have to be like, nah, that's okay. Like, that's normal. They all left for great reasons. They've been with me for over a year, like all of them.
Yeah.
So like, and the reasons they were leaving are super like great things to be proud of. Like, one wants to save for a house. One is building a gym in College Station. Like, so they're putting money towards other things. And like, I've learned so much. But if I were to tie my worth to that, like, which is so many people like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put all of my eggs into like social media and like the actual marketing that you have to do and the actual sales that you have to do. Like, bruh, it's a roller coaster. I don't know if I make it look easy online. Like, if I make it look,
well, I feel like people see like she gets to work out at 10 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. Like, oh, it must be nice. Like, I feel like there are actually a lot of similarities between like business ownership and like being in the military. That's why I think like a lot of veterans like end up becoming business owners because like you learn so much about. But anyway, one of the common things is like the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Mm-hmm. Like, you always meet somebody that's like, oh, I was gonna do that, or like, oh yeah, I had this business idea too, and it's like the same vibe. And I know because that based off that face, like you get the same feeling of like, okay, so do it.
Yeah.
So go do
that's,
it.
I think, like, one of you and I's biggest
pet peeve.
Was that grammar correct? You and I's. Sorry, we
Yous
both went to A&M.
Yeah, right. The state education.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our biggest. I think one of our pet peeves is going. And Victoria and I have a saying. We just say, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Like, because we would talk about things so often. Like, hey, we should do this business. We should whatever. And like, we just gotta do it. Man, just do it then.
Do it,
like, just do it. Like, I
used to always joke and say, like, the recruiting office is in the same location. It's open to you as well.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise you're going to be the 50-year-old on the airplane sitting next to me telling me the shoulda, coulda, woulda things. It's the same thing with business of like, oh, I had this really great idea. It's just like financially right now and my time and I got this family and you're like, wah, wah, wah. Like, everybody's got a thing. Do it.
You have a busy life. No, my thing
or if
is
it's so
like,
easy, do it.
Yeah. My thing is never like go all in. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect when you do it.
Yeah.
You just have to get started.
Yeah.
It can be perfect later. It can be great later. Like, what I have going for me now was not what I had going when I did this at all. Like, the systems, everything was like, I was using Excel, that like just using different like systems that are not sustainable for a bigger roster of clients and all these things. Like, but I was just like, but this is what I want to do, so I'm just going to go. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just going to get started, scary,
and you
whatever.
You
figure things out. You can make it perfect. The branding doesn't have to be perfect. Like,
it's the same thing with this. It's just like, at some point you kind of just have to do it. I mean, we can come up with the coolest name, take the cutest photos, but like until you record,
oh my God, you can literally change whatever you want.
Yes.
Nothing is set in stone.
Rebrand.
Like, rebrand. Like, do you know how many times, let me take this. Let me hold your hand when I say this, people. Do you know how many times I've rebranded my own life?
Yes, right.
So many.
Really?
So like,
Really?
let me take your hand when I say this. things can
Just start.
change. Just start.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's
Next
good.
question.
Okay, just based off time, I'm just gonna move.
Yeah.
I have a bunch more I could do on business, but fitness wise,
Okay.
what do you think is like one fitness habit, rule, whatever that you had last year that you're ditching going into this year?
Oh man, I was so strict last year though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was.
Which I mean, you kind of have to be strict again this year, but
Yeah. I don't know. Ditching. Okay, hold on. We're going to table that question because I just had this. I was going to ask you this earlier. I saw a TikTok that was like, what's one, no matter how healthy you are, no matter how woo-woo, like granola you become, what is one thing you will never ditch that you know is bad for you?
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
Easy.
Coke Zero. Easy.
Easy.
Coke. I don't care what's in that. My other
I'm
one.
not. We all have a vice.
My other one was coffee first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't
wait
want
90 minutes. I
don't want
care.
to. I don't want to put anything on
Not
my
doing
stomach. I don't supposed to eat, hydrate. No. I want my coffee
6
immediately.
a.m. coffee in my body.
I want to feel so anxious for the day.
First
thing when I wake up.
What I think it's also important where it's like you hear all these people, you see all the routines and all this stuff, and you're like, they all have something.
Sure.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Like
I do, like we talked about last episode, I do all the other stuff so that I can feel comfortable and confident walking into the movie theater with my big ass Coke Zero and my peanut M&Ms.
Give me my bottle of poison. I don't care.
Anyway, I don't know the answer to your question. I just know that one.
What you know what you're not ditching.
I know what I'm not ditching.
Okay.
Yeah, Coke Zero.
No toxic habits, no weird workout things, recovery maybe, any weird things that you're like, that just didn't work last year.
No.
Think about that one.
I'll think about it.
Journal about that
Unless
later.
you know the answer for me, I don't know. I don't know. There are things I could probably pick
I
up.
think in regards to prep specifically, I think that you'll time block your day better.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's something like the
I'm going to have to.
Yeah, you have to. And I think that's more just a learning thing, not necessarily a ditching thing, but that's the only thing that I really thought of. What's one of your current non-negotiables? And have they changed in the last year?
Oh, sure. Well, actually, I say that my non-negotiables kind of go back to what they are anytime I feel like I've gotten away from them, where I'm not making success in certain areas. The first one,
just fitness ones.
Fitness ones is 10K steps, macros. I started on pinky and then went here. Fitness.
I think that's an Asian thing. You start this way.
Steps, macros, and then one workout a day. And obviously it can be active recovery or a yoga session, mobility, whatever. But those are my 3 that I've got to do. Okay. And my 10K steps are usually walk first thing in the morning with Emma.
Yeah.
That's a non-negotiable because one, she needs to go for a walk, and then it helps me kind of start my day.
Is that different from last year, or you did the same things last?
It was pretty similar. That's pretty similar. Yeah.
Are you planning on adding any?
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
What's the one? Give us one.
This is gonna sound so dumb, but I don't drink enough water.
Yeah.
I don't. I drink one
I
of
inspired
these
you
Yetis.
with my 1 gallon of water thing.
Yes, because I've been waking up. I've been waking up dehydrated and drinking my coffee.
I'm not giving it up.
But I'm not giving it up. I'm just gonna drink water immediately after it. No, I've noticed that I get so busy in my day that I'm like, I have a headache, and it's the classic boyfriend. Well, did you drink enough water?
Yeah.
I'm doing it to myself, and it's usually because I've only had one of those.
Yeah.
With my hydration though.
Yeah.
So
it counteracts.
my electrolytes help a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. I do need to drink a lot more water though, especially entering into prep. Yeah. I've got to get that up, and I can't do one or two of those.
I'm literally the person that has a reminder every hour on the hour.
I'm gonna have to do something.
Drink a glass of water.
And I was usually the person that was drinking a gallon of water, but I forget.
I just refuse to be the person that carries the gallon around.
No, we're not doing that. The one with the little marks, little hash marks. It's 9 a.m.
You can do
got
it. You gotta have encouragement.
So we had the same water bottle. So we had the same one.
It might still be in the house, okay?
I put mine in a garage sale when I moved this last time. I was like, we're done here.
We're done.
We're not doing this anymore.
4 Stanleys.
Anyway.
Very easy. Or Yeti, whatever you got.
Yeah, Yeti.
Okay. Okay, more of a fun one though. If for the rest of your life you only could pick one, only one, you literally couldn't do the other one. Would you pick weights, cardio, or recovery? It's like a life or death thing, right? Like
Weights.
you could only have weights.
Yeah.
No walking.
No.
Dang.
Weights.
That's fair. I think I would pick the same thing.
Weights. Yeah. Because I feel like I'm actually doing something.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll always love to be in the gym. You know, I always love to like somehow lift weights and
It's
like,
a therapy session.
It's a therapy session. And so, you know, that trend that's going around, like, I probably just needed a hug, but instead, like, for me, it's like, I probably just needed a hug, but instead I just took on this whole identity of my life is in the weight room. So, like, yeah, I love lifting
Well, and I
weights.
think it's also different. Like, I know some people think it's corny when you say, like, what's your hobby? Like, working out. And it's like, I don't mean that in a, like, toxic way. I literally mean, like, I actually really enjoy, like, working out and squatting. And, like, I have fun doing it type of thing. So
absolutely.
I get it. Yeah.
Like, I enjoy working out. Now, let me ask you this. Running or weightlifting for the rest of your life, you can only do one.
Oh, yeah, that's hard.
That's a little difficult.
So I'm going to actually pivot because I think initially my heart wants to say weights for the same reason.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick one, though, just based off of, like, longevity, I might pick running.
Because we both really, really love to run.
Yeah.
Like, we're just in different phases.
Different phases.
Seasons right now where that's not really our priority.
Because, I mean, I think you can still be a very healthy person.
I still think I'm going to go weights over running, but that is way more difficult.
I might have to ponder that one. That's a hard one.
Well, you're welcome.
But I think, whatever, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Okay, we're almost done. Spiritually, let's talk spiritual life over the last year.
Okay.
Because I know God's been teaching you some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the biggest lesson you learned over the last year is?
I'm always just going to be still and know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I genuinely try to carry the weight of the world and everyone else's world on my back. Like, when I say that I care about people, bruh.
The world's most empathic person
Yeah,
ever.
I
Is
care
that the right
too
word?
much. Like, I've had many exes say, hey, you care a lot about people, and I think you should probably care a little less.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, no, I just, like, and you always say, like, I'm not built for the streets. I'm a lover girl. Like, I love, man. And
you just feel very deeply.
I feel very deeply.
You wear everybody's emotions.
Yeah. And so I think that, like, I carry a lot on my shoulders, and I don't ask for a whole lot usually, which I'm sure is another therapy session. But, like, I have a hard time asking for help in unloading that or drawing boundaries and saying, hey, I do want to be there for you. I emotionally, physically cannot. Like, I'm on the end of my wire, like, whatever.
You are not Jesus.
Yeah. So, but like, I just struggle with that because I want everyone to know love in that same capacity.
Yeah.
You know, like, my sole purpose here on earth is, I put this on an Instagram post the other day. Like, I've journaled it over a year ago, and it's like, my sole purpose here on this earth is not for my enjoyment. It is so that other people know God's love, or just love in general. Like, obviously Jesus' love, but, like, just to know love and to, like, be seen and heard and all these things. And as much as I want to be a hard ass, like, I put that exterior on, that's not fully me, right? Like, but I think God has really tried to teach me to, like, be still. And I remember I was going through my divorce, and I did not know how to process those emotions. I did not know how to process that at all. Like, I was turning to drinking. I, like, took up, like, I think I did weed. Like, I did it, like, twice, you know, like, because I didn't want to process those emotions.
Yeah.
Like, it's so heavy, and I didn't know what to do with them. And, like, my whole life, like, what do you mean I was someone's wife and now I'm not, right? Like, and my dad, I was just bebopping around, going to concerts, going to, like, doing, like, I was in college again, like, drinking too much. And my dad, like, I called him, and some guy that I was talking to didn't want to talk to me anymore. Cool. And I was just, like, distraught. Not because of the guy. He's great. But it was just, like, someone else doesn't want me.
Yeah.
But my dad was like, how are you going to hear from God if you are not still?
Yeah.
You have to be still and present in his presence in order to hear from him. And to this day, it looks a little different. Like, now it's not as, like, toxic as that of, like, not processing emotions. But it's like, I'm so busy with other things in my life that, like, I don't hear from him. and if I don't slow down, like if I don't sit and like this literally happened on Sunday when I was reading something told me to open my devotional at 8 p.m. on Sunday night. And so I did. And it was literally just this whole passage about being still and knowing like he's still moving on my behalf, even when I'm still.
Yep.
And I was just like, full tears.
Yeah.
Like I texted you, I was like, and then God had the audacity for this to be my devotional. Like, anyway,
slow down.
That's the biggest one, is just like being really present. And I try really hard to be present when I am with people. Like, yeah. But it's, yeah, again, it just goes back to like, I don't feel like, yeah, anyway.
I get it. We get it.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you have any, or can you think of any like answered prayers over the last year? Like something that you were praying for that you were like, hey, he answered that.
Ooh, that's good. Well, I think, yeah, okay. Like my anxiety.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's a big one. That's literally what I was thinking. So.
I don't have it anymore. Like, and if I do, it's
not real.
It's very manageable and it's very like, oh, I'm feeling this way because A, B, and C. Like I just got a little triggered here, or I felt like an emotion come up. I'm good. But like I mean, you could easily say that my life was led by anxiety for a very, very long time. Yeah. And I was just talking to Allie about this yesterday about like rumination, like how I would just let thoughts manifest and to like let scenarios play out that weren't true. Yeah. Or some that were. Some that I knew were very true and were very much happening to me. But I would really just sit on them and let them completely take my day away from me. And I remember starting this journal that I had. It was my devotional journal. And the first page is like, I do not want to be led by anxiety anymore. I do not want that to have complete control over my life. Yeah. And I was like going back at church, like sitting next to you. And this was like in October. Yeah. Because the journal had been like a year. Yeah. And I was like looking back at it, and like the first part of that journal was just like, please God, like I'm pleading with him to take it from me. I'm pleading with him to just like give me some sort of discernment, some sort of peace, some sort of joy. And then like it was just wild because like a couple other passages, like you could just see it where it started to fade away. You could see it where I started to grow closer to him, have some more discernment over my life, like have wisdom. Like there was a lot more of wisdom that was impressed upon me, like in my Bible studies with like my friend Rachel and like our Bible study, like our virtual Bible study. But like then it was just all like glory to him. Like towards the end of last October, it was just like, oh my God, I'm so thankful for this. I'm so grateful for this. And oh my gosh, this is really cool. This is happening, blah, blah, blah. It was just like, I don't remember the last time I really woke up in true, just like immediate rumination, immediate anxiety, immediate depression. Like, and like he literally healed me. Yeah. Like I'm so convinced like that when like you drop back. Yeah. I just I won't go back because I know too, the difference in what was making me anxious. Like the people that I was like choosing to be in my life that were making me feel that way and making me feel less than and pulling me away from what God had for me. So, and
it's cool too because I feel like that's like such a big thing right now, especially like they say like Gen Z is like the anxious generation or whatever and stuff like that. And I think there's not a lot of hope in it. Like a lot of people are just like, oh, you're just like stuck. This is just how you live. Like you're just an anxious person, and you're like kind of living proof of like, no, you can heal from that.
You can also like
you can heal from it.
I've been in a lot of therapy for it. I've taken medication
you've definitely
for it.
done lots of things.
Like this whole started for me when I was 18 years old, like in college. And so, I have a lot of tools. I have a lot of things that like, and maybe we can have an episode on that, like where I can share some of the tools that I've learned, like when you're dealing with depression or anxiety. But like,
we could go all day on it.
I mean,
between the two
of us. Anyway, that's been the biggest thing that he's answered my prayers on for sure.
That's a big one.
That's huge.
That's cool. Okay, I've got 2 last questions for you. Okay. That way we can wrap up. Yeah. This one's kind of hard, but so hopefully you have an answer. But
Michael Scott.
Got him. Got him. What's one dream that you have not said out loud yet to anybody?
Bruh.
That's a hard one, right?
That's hard because I've got a couple, but it's also like I'm big on also
you
like
want to Easter egg them?
Also, like what do you want to get? What you did with your necklace? This sounds so okay. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna say it. 2 things. One, I want to speak on stage one day.
Let's go.
I had that thought come to me when
you told me that years ago.
Yeah,
you have said it out loud.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell the masses now, or 46 people who listen.
I don't count.
Anyway, I want to speak on stage, and when I did get that vision, it was girls. Like it was just girls, women, whatever. It was in college, and I did not have the career that I have now or anything like that. I just saw it and was like, platform, and I literally go, oh, you better get ready. Like that was my brain of like, oh, okay, like you better get ready for that. The second one, I want to be on a magazine cover.
Okay.
It's not vain, okay? Like it was just something that I remember.
One, it's okay.
I know. I'm like, wait.
You don't have to preface it. Yeah.
Wait. It's not because I care about me only. No, I just remember like when I would read Oxygen or I would read Women's Health or I would read these magazines on the treadmill and stuff, and I would be like, one day I want to be on the cover. Like and it wasn't like I want to be so jacked and ripped or skinny or whatever. It was just like that to me was a mile marker of success. And like, so it could be any magazine cover, but I want to be on the cover of a magazine. And I don't know what that looks like or what that means, but like I
check back in 1 year from now.
Yeah. 1 year from now. Anyway,
next year.
Those are the two
those
things.
are good. Those are both good ones.
Yeah.
Now the people know. Okay, last one. What is your one birthday wish for everybody listening? Whether it be like a takeaway, what's something that like you wish for the people listening, or that I guess like just one thing that would make you really happy if the listeners did or took away or something like that.
I don't mean to sound corny or cliche, but like take a chance on yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's really it.
Just on me.
Yeah. From ABBA. Yes. I just take a chance on your dreams and all, like whatever's calling you, like to act on it.
Yeah.
Like even in the smallest way, just pour onto yourself in some way that you do other people. Like because I do get a lot of clients and I do get a lot of people who have set themselves on the back burner for too long.
Yeah.
Like not even on the back burner anymore. Like we talk about, it's off the stove completely. It's in the fridge. It's in the backyard. Like your dreams are all the way back there.
Closet,
yeah. Like take it out of the storage closet, set it down, and just be like, okay, how can I get started on this today? But like take a chance on yourself. Like nobody should be more. That's the other thing about like we can get into confidence and stuff, but nobody should be in your corner harder than you.
Yeah.
Like you should be the one in your corner. Like why can't I do that? Like why?
Well,
can't
and it's
I?
like not even on like because I think you're special, but in the sense of like taking a risk on yourself is like you're not special.
Yeah.
Like you just took a chance on yourself.
Well, there's a play on that. Like you are special.
Right.
But also
right.
you're not special.
But I'm saying maybe you're not unique in the sense of like if you're capable of doing it, anybody is capable of doing it. And that's something that you've always encouraged me in of like, dude, like what do you
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Who cares? You know, like things like
and
that.
Who am
so,
I?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that
but you are special.
Thanks. My dad and mom say so too. I just like we wouldn't have half of the things in this world we have if someone just didn't like take a chance on themselves to make it happen. And like who's to say that what you have in your heart, like I remember my friend Buster has said it, and I remember that Click has said it.
That is a name.
Yeah, if you saw him, it matches like full big ass cowboy. Yeah, like you would get it. But Click has said it that too. Like, and I'll revert back to Click, but like he is a photographer for rodeo, and there's a ton of photographers, ton of videographers in the rodeo industry, sure. But like he's like, I want my piece of the pie.
Yeah,
I don't want the whole pie. I just want my piece of the pie. And I was like, and Click is like one who has like big confidence, like, and I like get so much from him in that way. But like I just was like, yeah, there's tons of fitness people on social media. There's hundreds and thousands. Like, cool, I just want my piece.
Yeah.
There's room. I don't care. Like,
exactly.
I'm the only me.
It's not too saturated.
I'm the only me.
Yeah.
And so like I'm gonna call in my specific niche clientele. I'm gonna speak to them because I want to help them, and they're gonna find me. And because I know that, because God has already like preordained that for me. So like, I guess that's my birthday wish, is just like bet on yourself and do the things that you've always wanted to do.
That's good. That's a good way to end.
Man,
I think that
toxic positivity.
Yeah, right. We always have to end on toxic positivity. Yeah, so that's kind of all we have for episode 4. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you kind of want to leave the audience with
No,
as far as 34 goes?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I will just say, like, you said it was a struggling at first. Like, 34 has, like, been an age where, and it has been a struggle for me because, like, I do genuinely see myself aging.
Yeah.
Like, I see it on my face. I see it, like, not necessarily, like, in my body because I do take care of myself, but, like, I see it in my face more. It's a natural thing. I'm an adultier adult. They're just like things that I'm a real adult.
Boy.
I'm the people that look like some people looks at me and go like, hey, I need an adult. They look at me now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh no, you shouldn't, like, at all. But like, I have been struggling just because I have been tying my life and my purpose and my identity to my business because I feel behind in every other aspect of my life. Like, I do want to be married. I think like the common misconception that people, like, I've been on a couple dates, this was like 2 years ago, where they're like, well, you just don't strike me as the kind of girl that wants someone that you don't need a man. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm independent, sure. Like, and I like what I do. And my dad did raise me to be that way. Like your dad raised you to be that way. Like, but my dad was always like, I don't want you to need a man. I want you to want a man. If you want that, that's great. I do want a husband. I do want kids. I do want a family. That is like kind of the end goal for me. But, so I really am.
It's hard to not feel like I'm behind type
right.
of, yeah,
and
I get it.
And I just want to put that out there because like, that's where you're going to see me in the season of working through that.
Yeah.
It's like, and I hope that some
and
other people
real.
resonate with that is like, oh man, like, yeah, she has a great business and all these things, but like I talked to you earlier this morning, like, but it's still not fulfilling like this desire in my heart. Like, and I'll tell the audience too, like I've prayed and pleaded for God to remove that.
Yeah.
If that's not his like goal for me and intention, like then remove that desire from my heart completely and let this be enough.
Yeah.
And I'll just continue to pour into this cup, and I will until that time comes. Like, I don't want people's pity. I'm not sad that I don't have it. I just don't feel like that part of me is fulfilled yet. And so like you guys get to kind of see that season of my life where I'm on round 2 of my friends getting married and getting pregnant, where like it happened in my earlier 20s where my best friends, they all have like 3 kids now. So now I'm on round 2 of like my 27, 28-year-old friends having that. And so it can be kind of like oh crap. Like, damn.
When I think it's like fair to say too, it's like you are feeling both emotions, both like so excited, like for me, example,
100%. Yeah.
Like
I'm so
Queen
stoked for
Man,
you,
like
Allie,
so
Emily,
stoked, so
like,
excited for all of those things and like to be a part of that, but also like wanting it for yourself as well. And so I think it's like giving yourself permission to feel both of those things.
And you said it best too, like when I pray and I'm like, I don't want God to think I'm not thankful.
Yeah.
Like I'm so thankful for my life. I'm so grateful for where I'm at. And, but I'm also still feeling like a little unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Right. In that way. And so I just want to put that out to the audience. Like you'll get to see me kind of work through that, but I hope you can resonate with it too.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway. Okay, that's the episode. Bye.
I'm just kidding. And no. So that's it for episode 4.
Yeah.
We are now on Apple Podcast. So go like, subscribe.
Way to figure that
all
out.
the things. Thanks, Mom. Go like, subscribe, all that stuff. Share with your friends, and see you back for episode 5.
Happy birthday.